Howdy y'all, I'm gonna go a little bit more off the cuff today because I'm kind of frustrated with where things are at progress wise for both Hydran Software, the company, and the status of my different game projects. So just taking you on a walk today while we can talk a little bit about my plans for 2026, how I'm gonna get out of this frustration, and what is coming next and what you should expect for the rest of this year. A lot of my frustration kind of stems from things that are technically outside of my control, but it's still things I should have known about and planned for. This isn't the first time I've started a company. I should be able to know what steps are going to be involved, although it feels like there's been a couple extra steps that I've caused myself. Let's talk about the progress real quick, just to kind of get that out of the way, and then we will dive into what the plans are for the rest of the year. First off, at this point, I really wanted to have the Steam page actually up so that you guys could start wishlisting the game and supporting us that way. But there's a couple of different steps that need to get done in order to set that up. One of which is, of course, for Steam, they actually want you to have the actual bank account and all that kind of everything set up. And of course, I don't want to actually use my personal stuff for this, so I was setting up all new accounts for everything. In the past, when I've started companies, this has been a relatively straightforward process because I just actually used my same bank. But for a variety of reasons, I didn't want to do that this time. And it's just been a much bigger hassle than I thought it would be. Not so much that it's been hard to do, it's just that you submit something and then you wait 2 days, and then you submit something else and you wait 2 days. So anyway, all that's finally done. But what I am waiting on now is Steam has a third-party company that verifies all of your tax information. And it says that it takes 2 to 7 days for that to take place. And well, we're on day 5 now, so I guess I'm waiting the full 7 days. So anyway, hopefully by our next video, that will all be resolved. Then I'll be in the waiting cycle for Steam to actually approve the Steam page itself for the game. All right, and so on the game front itself, or the 2 game front itself, Legacy of Sail, really been rounding out all the rest of the work that needed to get done for localization support across all the different screens. So I'm pleased to say that is actually done now, so I can localize basically every screen in the game now, and I've got basic Google translation support put in there for a lot of it. Obviously, before really go live, I'll want to put some effort into getting real proper translations in place, but these will work for now. The other thing is I did update a variety of libraries in the back end, which you probably don't care about, but it was all stuff that needed to get done. On the Federation and Empire side, actually done a lot of behind the scenes stuff. I actually upgraded Unity versions recently, so I was going through and cleaning up and taking advantage of some of the new features that were in Unity from some of my legacy code, because obviously I've been working on this project for a long time, so it's got a lot of the really old ways of doing some things. So not something that anybody would actually notice, but things that are going to make it easier for me as I keep rolling forward. So in both projects standpoints, these are important things, good things that needed to happen, but they don't feel very exciting, right? And so that kind of leads a little bit more into the, I think I should be able to do more, I should be able to get more done. So let's talk a little bit about planning. I think my personal frustrations have come from the fact that I've set the bar a little too high in some places. It was I don't know if you guys watch Thomas Stewart's channel, but the other day he was talking about planning, and he mentioned the fact that one of the things that he needs to do is plan for the C- version of himself to be the one that shows up, instead of always assuming that he's going to be perfect top of his game guy. And I think I need to do the same. I think the goals that I've set in the past have been relatively realistic, but I've got to remember, I've got 3 kids, I have a full-time job, I have all these other things that are demanding for my time, and so I need to scale things back as appropriate and set it up right so that this can actually work as a solo dev. Okay, so let's talk about those goals. What is our plan right now? And sorry, I gotta watch my step here for a second. When it comes to getting the company itself up and running, I am pushing forward to make sure that all of that is done by the end of February. All the legal stuff's dealt with. I have done most of it already, but you know, like I said, there's these little time gaps that you've got to deal with while you're waiting on other entities. So we're planning on end of month making sure all that's done, which means that realistically, you know, or not realistically, it's impossible to actually be in the next Steam Next Fest, which I really wasn't planning on anyway, because I'd like to have a lot more wish lists going into Steam Next Fest. Everybody says that, well, not everybody, the people that know better about these things than I do, I'll say that Steam's Next Fest is really more of a multiplier, so it multiplies on the wish list that you already had. So I want to make sure I've got a decent number in there, so I'm going to be planning on making sure that we are really ready to hit the ground running for the Next Fest in June with Legacy of Sail. I want to be ready to really launch play tests around the end of February, beginning of March. So definitely, if you're interested in that, there's a link below this video to sign up to be part of that play test. I'd love it if you did that. The more feedback I can get, obviously the better. Okay, arm switch. Apparently one of the goals that I need to set for this year is actually getting some type of better way to film while I'm walking, instead of just holding my phone out in front of me and looking like an idiot for all my neighbors. Anyway, on the Federation and Empire front, I'm really pushing to see if I can't have that game wrapped up by the end of the year, at least for the the base rules. Obviously, I'm not worrying about any expansion packs or anything like that right now. I've got a lot of the game covered already. It's more, I've got to round out a few more steps, which I say round out. Obviously, it's going to take a long time to do that. There's a lot of rules that are involved in Federation and Empire. Anyway, that's the plan, is it'll probably be towards the end of the year. I want to get it done sooner than that, but I think realistically that's where we're looking at. And then that brings me to a variety of personal things. Obviously, I'm going to keep focusing on making sure I make it to all my kids' activities and all that kind of stuff. Being dad is job number one. And I guess my real job would probably say that they're somewhere in there too, but you know, whatever. And then I've got to do a better job about getting in shape. I don't think I shared with the group, but I did fail. Hey puppy. I did fail my test for my 3rd degree black belt back in September. And then after that, I got hurt, and then I got sick, and so I'm just now kind of really getting back into all that. So I've got a lot of work to do to get myself back in shape. One of the reasons why we were on a walk, and we'll probably be on walks a lot more on this, assuming that this sounds even halfway decent. So hopefully I'm not about to just throw away all of this video that I'm recording. So the next national testing is in June out in Virginia, but in September there will be another national testing that'll be actually here where I live in September. So my plan is to train like I'm going to go to that testing out in Virginia in June. But if I'm not ready, or if I just can't you know, make that travel work, then I'll hopefully be in good shape for September. That brings us then to this YouTube channel. So as you probably noticed, I've been trying to put out a video every week now. I've also been playing around a little bit with shorts, so I guess we'll see what happens with that. But I'm more interested in YouTube's long form videos, so I'll definitely, well, the plan is I'm going to put one out every week so that you guys really get a good behind the scenes look at what all is actually going on as I try to create the studio and get my first indie game out there. So if that's something you're interested in, definitely give us a subscribe, and I hope to see you in the next one.